Welcome to Chrismo Show.
Chrismo Show.
Random Thoughts Podcast.
Yep.
I am Antrill.
And I'm LaKristen.
And that's Chris. I am Mo. Nobody can call me Mo. None of y'all can call me Mo. My mother named me after my father. But you can't call me that. On this podcast, I am Antrill. In my professional life, I am Antrill. There are only so many people that can call me by my first name.
And y'all won't even know what it is.
Y'all are not those people. There are people in the world that know that name. But a lot of y'all don't. And I'm taking up too much time talking about it. But we are Chrismo. This is the Chrismo Show.
We do random thoughts.
We talk about random stuff that applies to your life because you've had questions and we got answers. We've been together for a very long time and we just want to give you this value so that your relationship can grow. All right.
That's it.
This is my sweat rag because it's hot and we got kids and we go through a lot just to bring you these segments.
Yes.
We go through a lot.
You wouldn't imagine.
So I'm sweating like the pastors do. And I'm going to put my rag down. Because it's Sunday when we film this. All right. So let me open up my notes. What are we talking about today? Where's your notepad at? Like you supposed to have.
My notepad is not thorough. I don't understand why it isn't either. I'm missing a note. I think it got deleted. But the one thing that I saw I had on there was child rearing.
Child rearing?
Raising children.
Oh, raising children. You want to talk about kids on this first? You want to talk about kids?
Well, we don't have to, but that was the one. That was my one.
That's what came
note.
to your. That's what.
That was my prevalent note that I found. Again, I think I lost one of them. So
I'm gonna say, so from what perspective? And that's why I really wanted to. I saw some memes. It was some stuff on Instagram because we're online a lot, and online is a big part of today's world, right?
It is.
You have to be able to weed through what's good and what's bad especially on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna say online, period.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to social media, number one, don't get caught up in the allure of the scroll.
No.
I've heard a lot of analogies on what social media is. Instagram it's named Instagram because it's a hit of dopamine. You're getting an instant gram of dopamine. Mm-hmm. It's an adrenaline rush, which it is, right? So again, don't get caught up in the scroll, and we've all done it. I've done it. You just sit here for hours doing this and this and this.
You can be sitting in the same room with your partner and both of you guys are scrolling. So
boom, this is a great random point that she just brought up. You can be in the same space and not be connected. Mm-hmm. And I saw a meme on Instagram or a post on Instagram to where the guy is saying one of the biggest hindrances, if I'm saying that, one of the biggest deal breakers or something that couples often flock to bring them together is something that's actually tearing them apart, which is a television and a remote control. Yeah. So from his perspective, we sit here in front of this device and we watch this TV program for an hour, this movie for 2 hours, right? Mm-hmm. And at the end of that movie or that TV show, we talk about it for 5 minutes. We talk about the experience that we got from that TV show or that movie for 5 minutes, and then but the entire hour or 2 hours, we never connected throughout that TV show. Yeah. And so just me and you talking, this is why when we watch TV, I'm into the program, but I'm also talking to you about the program. And I think this is why I like documentaries so much, right?
Yes.
Scripted TV is cool, but with documentaries, you get to learn.
Yes.
And with a lot of the documentaries that we watch, typically they're relationship based. I look at that as the foundation for us gaining the conversation and the knowledge to be able to bring these podcasts to life, right?
Agreed.
So as we're watching these programs, I'm gonna interact. I'm gonna talk to you. Oh, they said that women don't like it when men do XYZ. Have I ever done something like this?
Yes, you do.
So this is why
we both do that. We'll feed off this. Do I do this? Or we'll ask those questions when we see stuff in the documentaries or whatever it is that we're watching.
Right. Absolutely. I didn't close these windows, but go ahead.
But we ask each other, have I done this to you, or have I ever done this? Is there something that I'm doing now that you don't necessarily like, or is there something that I can improve on? Those are questions that we both ask now more than we've ever had, especially now at this point in our life, in not just our life but in our relationship. Again, like we heard us say earlier, we operated for a long time as boyfriend and girlfriend. Although we were married, we didn't understand that in order for the marriage to grow, there are deep, difficult conversations that you have to have.
Yes.
And I can say myself, I was not a fan of those deep, difficult conversations. I never knew that, in a marriage that those conversations were needed. I wasn't aware. I can say coming from a situation to where growing up, I didn't see that. So I didn't know it.
Right.
And oftentimes, from our age range, with looking at our parents' relationships, we didn't see the conversations. We just saw them going to work. Mm-hmm. There was no interaction. There was no I love yous. There were no hugs. There were no kisses. There was no affection. Not from the aspect of a relationship. Mm-hmm. Your mom said they love you. Okay, that's mama. But, in regards to actually seeing that loving aspect from a relationship standpoint, I personally never saw it. So I had to, that is something that I learned with you. So it being for a successful relationship, for things to progress, you have to communicate.
Yeah, you definitely have to communicate.
And you have to have common goals. And once you check those goals off, make some more goals.
You definitely have to look something or have something to aspire to. Absolutely.
Yeah. I've heard people say a honey-do list. Not necessarily a honey-do list far as, well, yeah, a honey-do list was, is things want to get done around the house.
I was finna say, I thought that's what it was. Just
things you want to get done around the house.
List that you want me to fix, or wives want husbands to do. I want you to go paint the garage.
Yeah,
go
things like that.
Put up a shelf in the bathroom.
But those things, you need to have a honey-do list for your relationship as well. You need to have those conversations where you sit down and you ask, okay, what is it? What can I do for you at this moment? How can I help you? Mm-hmm. Is there something that I can do to better? Is there something that I'm not doing that could better help you? I guess. It's you should have a honey-do list for your relationship, not just for your actual home.
Right, and I think what that does is that helps refocus why you're with your person to begin with.
Exactly.
Because as you get deep into a relationship and in the years, and especially from our example, when the family situation comes into play, now you start having kids and you get older, you're 5-10 years into your relationship, you're into your career, you're progressing in life, but as you grow in your company or in your thing, then you can lose sight of the time that you had to put in to build
that relationship.
This relationship with your significant, right? And especially when the kids come into play, because now the needs of the children start to take precedence, and the day-to-day hustle. Like, I got to go to work just so I can keep the lights on. And then I got to make sure that, for me right now, that I got to pay $210 for this leotard every freaking 6 months.
No,
so
every 12 weeks.
So,
yeah,
like, I get it.
Yeah,
and,
it's
you know, the stress, the added stress of the people that you're dealing with outside of the house. And then the added stress of, well...
in the house.
Yeah, in the house. And
you got to take care of in the house. If you don't take care of in the house, everything else is not going to work. It's going to be a constant struggle. And you're going to be trying to figure out why it's not working. What's going on? Why is everything else outside of the house check, but at home is turmoil?
Right. What should the honey-do list consist of for couples? Like, and let's give a scenario. You're already, you're into the relationship like us. You have some years. You have some longevity in this thing, and maybe we're trying to remind ourselves of why we've got to the longevity that we have. So what type of...
You have to continue dating. You have to continue dating. What your grandmother. Your grandmother is a gem.
Facts. Shout out to Betty
Kelly Lee. Yes, but your grandmother's a gem. We were dating, and she gave me 2 pieces of advice. 2. And one that sticks out to me all the time is that you had a family function, and at that family function, food was served, and me being the ever doting girlfriend at the time, you know, trying to make a good impression. Food was done, and I immediately got up, went to go fix your plate. Your grandma said, "Whoa, hold on, baby. If you ain't gonna fix this plate every time food get ready, you better have him come fix. You better put that plate down." I looked at you and I set that plate right on down, cause I knew I love you, and for most part, I'd still fix your plate, but I didn't want it to be something you got accustomed to that I couldn't continue. And she also said, don't start nothing you're not going to finish. That stuck with me.
That's a gem of life.
That's it. Don't start nothing you ain't going to finish. For the simple fact, with that, to me, that is, if you are not going to cater to his every single solitary need for the rest of your life, don't start it. Because what you start, they're going to expect you to continue.
Yeah.
So with any relationship, whether you're in the dating phase, if you've already made it past the dating phase and you're married now, just know whatever you did to get that person, you need to continue it.
You have to continue to do those things.
You have to continue to do those things. So if you was whining and dining and spinning, just know that that's going to continue.
Very, very true.
It's going to continue.
Very true.
It's only going to get worse, though. It's going to get worse.
It does only get worse.
Especially when you add children into the fact. If you add children into the fact and you was already spending, just know you're going to have to continue that spending on the wife, and then the wife is going to expect it for the children.
That's very true.
So don't start nothing you're not going to finish. So as the old, when we were growing up, said, don't start none, won't be none.
So how important is it to, and this goes back to what you said at the beginning, like the hard conversations. What we think is love or we feel is love, but is actually lust. It is a hormonal imbalance and us wanting to be nasty. right? We just gonna put it out there. When we get caught up in that, we don't have the hard conversations. We don't ask the questions that we really need to ask. And then even if we see things that we don't like, sometimes we will overlook it because the lust is just that strong.
So, and what I've heard over a lifetime is, don't turn red flags pink.
But again, okay, and not to cut you off, and I definitely understand what you're saying, but if we're early on in the relationship, or we're trying to get to where we have some type of longevity,
yes,
we working on 6 months to a year, right? Yes. We still, it's still brand new. We don't know. But when do I start having these conversations? When do I start asking these questions about, what does future planning look like with you?
So to me, the questions, how religion, how, what's your religious background? Those questions should be asked in the dating phase. If children are brought into the picture, how do you plan to raise those children? Are you a strict parent? Are you a relaxed parent? Are you conscious parenting? Like, those questions should be asked. Right.
But I'm saying, how do I ask that question? Like, it's a difficult conversation. And right, I don't want to upset you to the point to where I scare you off because
But at the end of the day, when you are dating in the dating world, are you dating forever, or are you looking to mate? Are you looking for your person?
I guess it depends on that person. Like, where am I at
where are you
in my life?
Exactly. So if you're dating to have fun, those questions don't need to be asked. Because 9 times out of 10, when you meet someone, within the first 15 minutes of talking to that person, if you want to see it go somewhere else. At different points of your life, it may just be you may see yourself with this person for a season.
Right.
You may see your person with this person for a vacation. You may see yourself with this person for a night.
Right. So I'm asking, how do I establish and ask these questions? I know I don't want to be with you forever. I know this is just.
So at that point,
from the male standpoint, like it's easy for us, we
exactly. So at that point, if you're from the male aspect, the males just need to be honest, flat out.
That's the truth behind that one, guys. We stop sugarcoating it. Stop giving. Let's not do the jailhouse promises and the hoopla
and the other thing is, you can't come in and lay. And
let me say this. A thin line between love and hate. Martin Lawrence. What is it? Leela Rochelle. That is true. That is true.
Lynn. Liam Witherspoon was her name.
All right, so I messed the name up, but a thin line between love and hate.
It's real.
That is real.
Yes.
That is real. Do not do the whole I'm playing. Do not play with emotions.
Don't.
Do not play with people's emotions.
Don't.
People are crazy.
Yes.
You are crazy. I am crazy. We all have a level of crazy.
And it only takes that one person to come in.
Do not push people over the edge.
Don't do it.
By playing with their emotions, because this is sacred, and especially when you talking about giving away your blue light. For men, it's your blue light. I don't know what it's called for the women. Giving away y'all flour, y'all cookie, all that good stuff. This is real. This is real. We are exchanging. We are creating soul ties. We are exchanging energy. Do not give away these promises just because you want 15 to 20 minutes of satisfaction, and now you got to deal with crazy for years and years and just bad situations one after another.
It's just what it is. Don't play with people's emotions.
Do not play with people's emotions.
Tell the person up front what you're looking for in your life at that point in your life. If you only want this person for the night, you only want sex, say that. I want sex. That's it. But understand, with women, most women,
I've asked this. We have had this conversation off camera many times, so I know what she's about to say.
With most women, if you say, I only want sex, depending upon where this woman is in her life, she may tell you, that's not what I want at this point in my life. I want someone that's going to be with me through thick, through thin. I'm not giving you my cookie. No. Mm-hmm. Now, you may meet the ones that be like, all right, cool. I don't want that. That's all I want from you, too.
Right.
Cool. But then what you run across is when men run across that one female that say, cool, that's all I want. You going to come and bust it down? And you going to go on about your way.
And then the expectation changed. Like, I got it. And this is the one. I feel like this is the one because I ain't never had one put it down like this.
And you got to understand, when you come into that one and then you start dicking her down on a regular basis, now you have created a relationship. Because you can't say, I just want sex. But you talking to her all the time. Mm-hmm. And y'all are interacting with each other on a daily basis. And then you get mad if she say, all right, I'm going out with my homeboy. Oh, what you mean? But you said we wanted a relationship. You said it was only sex. So when she throw it back on you and give you your words back to you, you can't get mad. Either you want a relationship or you just want sex.
That's very true.
So everybody needs to be honest of what they want. Now, most people in the dating world, from what I've read, right now, it's boo-boo out there. I've read different posts, and
I think that's because, and I don't know, because I haven't been in this pool for a very, very,
very long time. And that's what I'm saying.
But with that being said, I think people come into some of these situations, or no, let me rephrase. They're looking at this situation and not being honest, like you said, with what they actually want. Mm-hmm. So they go along with for the comfort of
having someone.
So I'll go along with, and now I commit years.
Don't do that to yourself.
And even walk down the aisle.
Don't do that to yourself.
Like, this is, we really think this happens. Like, we got married for the wrong reasons, or you know, the lust. We were immature about it, and now we brought another life into the situation. Mm-hmm. So now we automatically think, okay, we got a child, so we have to get married. We're forced into this particular lifestyle. Like, again, we weren't honest from the beginning.
Marriage is easy to do, to get into.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. It's really go to the courthouse and fill out some papers.
It's hard to disconnect once you've connected. Is for some, I know that when things don't work out the way they think they should, they hightail it.
Right. And again, because they didn't come into this situation with the right pretense. Yeah. I only came here for what I wanted, my personal gain. It wasn't to build a situation, which I think this goes into another conversation, and we're going to have to wrap this one. But yeah, I think we come into it with the wrong intention, so it's very easy for us to quit. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm just really gonna leave people with this thought. Like, we have a relationship. The most important thing in life overall, and I am a big believer of this, the most important thing that you will ever encounter in your life is a relationship.
Yes.
And you encounter many different types of relationship. Yes. You got the relationship with your parents.
Yes.
You got the relationship with your spouse. You got the relationship with your money, the relationship with your job, right? All of these relationships are important. Mm-hmm. So nurture relationships. That's the message that I want to convey. I don't know if I got that out. It's a ship. You must nurture the relationships, all of these different type of relationships. If you chasing the bag and that job is what you're into, then you go to and you are a yes man for your boss, right? Mm-hmm. And you do whatever you have to do to move up in scale in that company, right? Because the relationship with your money is very, very important. Mm-hmm. One of the things that helped us get to 20 years is because the relationship between us was very, very important. Yes. The love. Yes. And this is definitely something that we've heard from other people, is because we were so affectionate and we were so loving, that transitioned into our children. And our children are super affectionate, super loving, and people can just see that glow. Yes. Right? And we get compliments on this all the time. So again, the relationship's the most important thing that you will ever encounter is a relationship. Yes. So nurture the relationships.
Yes.